She types the message, then deletes it, types it again, deletes it again. 3 hours, 12 drafts, 0 sent. He said good morning. That's it. She's still deciding what that means. Her chest tightens. Her mind spirals. This isn't love. It's something else. Psychologists call it anxious attachment. It feels like love, but it isn't. It's fear, wearing love's clothing, and it might be pushing him away. By the end, you'll understand exactly why. Let's go inside her mind. Emma is smart, calm under pressure. Her friends call her put together. At work, nothing rattles her. She makes fast, clear decisions every time. But 3 weeks ago, she met someone new. The first time he took 4 hours to reply, something shifted inside her completely. She checked her phone 11 times. She reread her last message, searching for mistakes. Did she sound too eager, too needy, too much maybe? By the time he replied, with something completely ordinary, Emma had already built an entire story. A story where he was losing interest, where she was already being left behind. Here's the strange part, though. She isn't like this everywhere. Not with her friends, not with her boss. This anxiety only shows up in one place. The moment she starts to fall for someone, then suddenly, she becomes someone else entirely. Someone who checks, rereads, and spirals. Someone who needs constant proof she's safe. And the scariest part? She can't stop it. Even brilliant, successful women experience this pattern. Intelligence doesn't protect you from attachment wounds. This isn't about being weak or naive. It's about biology and early wiring. She's dated before, plenty of times. But this feeling is different somehow. More urgent, more consuming, more exhausting. So what's actually happening inside her mind? Psychologists call this anxious attachment. And it's more common than you'd think. Around 20% of adults show this pattern. Here's where it comes from, scientifically. In the 1950s, John Bowlby studied infants. He watched how babies react to separation. Some cried and reached out, desperate to reconnect. Others became distant, almost indifferent. Some calmed down instantly, trusting return. Later, Mary Ainsworth built on this research. She created the strange situation experiment. It proved something surprising and lasting. These early patterns don't just disappear. They become blueprints, wired deep inside us. Templates our brain uses, without our permission. In every close relationship we form as adults. If love felt inconsistent as a child, sometimes there, sometimes gone, your nervous system learned something important. Connection can disappear without warning, so it learned to stay alert, watching for any sign it's happening again. That's why a 4-hour delay feels dangerous. Her brain reacts like it's an actual threat. The amygdala is the brain's alarm system. It can't tell the difference between real danger and simply, he's in a meeting. It just senses uncertainty and panics because uncertainty once meant real loss. So her body reacts the only way it knows: hypervigilance, checking, analyzing, searching for control. Ainsworth identified several distinct attachment styles: secure attachment, comfortable with closeness and space; avoidant attachment, uncomfortable with too much closeness; anxious attachment, fears distance, craves constant closeness; and disorganized attachment, a confusing mix of both. Emma's pattern matches anxious attachment closely. She craves closeness, but fears losing it constantly. Now that you understand where this comes from, let's look at how it actually shows up in real relationships, in real moments. So how do you know if this is you? Here are 3 signs to watch for. Sign 1. You overanalyze every single message. A single word choice sends you into research mode. Why did he use a period? Not an exclamation. Why did she take longer to respond today? You reread old texts, hunting for hidden meaning, searching for proof that something's going wrong. This isn't overthinking for no reason. It's your brain running constant threat assessment, looking for danger before it can hurt you. Sign 2. You need constant, repeated reassurance. 1. I love you isn't enough for long. You need it again tomorrow and the day after. Not because you don't believe them in the moment, but because the fear resets almost immediately. Like trying to fill a cup with a hole in it. The reassurance helps, but only briefly. Then the anxiety quietly creeps back in, and you're searching for reassurance again. Sign 3. You test people without meaning to. You pull away slightly just to see their reaction. You create small problems to check if they'll stay, not consciously, not on purpose, but instinctively. It's an old survival strategy, resurfacing, testing loyalty before fully trusting it. The problem is, real partners feel this testing, and it slowly exhausts the relationship. Not because love isn't real, but because trust feels unsafe. Here's where it gets painful for everyone. Emma isn't trying to scare him off. She's just trying to feel safe again. But from the outside, it looks like pressure. 4 hours of silence feels unbearable to her. So she sends a follow-up text. When he takes a day to plan something, she starts wondering if he's losing interest. When he seems distracted, even slightly, she asks if everything's okay again. Psychologists call this protest behavior. It's the adult version of a crying child, a child who cries louder when ignored. The intention is always connection, but the effect, often, is distance. Because here's what's happening on his side. He isn't thinking about crisis or danger. He's just living his normal, secure life. Work, friends, errands, the ordinary rhythm. When her anxiety shows up as extra texts, it doesn't read as love to him. It reads as tension and pressure. And most people, even caring ones, pull back. This creates what's called the Anxious-Avoidant Loop. The more she reaches, the more he retreats. The more he pulls away to get space, the more her alarm system fires up. Because now her fear is actually happening. It's not that Emma is too much. It's that her nervous system is misfiring, reacting to old wiring in a safe moment. From his side, none of this makes sense. He just sees someone suddenly needing more. More texts, more validation, more constant checking. And slowly, he starts feeling suffocated. Not because he doesn't care about her, but because pressure feels different than love. Then, one evening, something shifts for Emma. She's mid-text, typing her third check-in, and suddenly, she stops. Mid-sentence, she rereads what she's about to send and asks herself a completely different question. Not is he losing interest, but why does his silence feel like danger? That single question changes everything. Anxious attachment isn't a personality flaw. It's a pattern that can be rewired. Emma starts noticing her body, not her phone. She notices her chest tighten when replies delay. She notices the urge to check his status. Instead of acting immediately, she just watches it, like a wave that rises, then falls, whether she reacts to it or not. This is called earned secure attachment. The anxiety doesn't vanish overnight, but she builds a completely new skill, sitting with uncertainty, without treating it as proof. Proof of abandonment. That hasn't actually happened. For Emma, that meant waiting 15 minutes before responding to her own anxious urge. She reminds herself a delayed reply is just information about someone's day, not her worth. Slowly, something interesting starts happening. The less she chases reassurance, the calmer she feels. And ironically, the calmer she feels, the less she needs him to prove anything. This shift doesn't happen instantly for anyone. It takes practice, patience, and self-compassion. Here's what most people get wrong, though. They think the goal is caring less, becoming chill, playing it cool, texting less, as some kind of strategy or game. But that's not healing. That's just suppression. With better timing, nothing more. The real shift isn't caring less at all. It's understanding where the intensity comes from. Emma's anxiety was never really about him. It was about every unreliable connection before, long before he ever existed in her life. Once she understood that, everything changed. She stopped asking him to fix an old wound, a wound he never actually created. She stopped needing instant replies to feel valued. And strangely, that's when things felt steadier. Not because he changed at all, but because she stopped outsourcing her safety, outsourcing it to his response time. This is the part that surprises people most. Anxious attachment isn't cured by perfect reassurance. It's cured by learning. You can survive waiting. Every time you sit with that discomfort, without spiraling, you teach your nervous system something new. Not that love is unreliable, but that you're okay. This isn't just about romantic relationships either. Anxious attachment shows up in friendships too, in work relationships, and even with family. Anywhere connection feels remotely uncertain. But romantic relationships amplify it the most because romantic love feels the most vulnerable, the most exposed, and the most important. If you recognize yourself in Emma's story, the reread messages, the checked phone, the spiral, you're not broken and you're not alone. This pattern was built for a reason. Your nervous system learned to stay alert, to keep you safe a long time ago. The problem is, it's still running that program, even in relationships where the danger isn't real. Understanding this doesn't fix everything overnight, but it changes the question you ask yourself. Instead of, why is he taking so long? You start asking, what do I actually need? That question, asked with curiosity, not panic, is exactly where the real shift begins. I'm Nipa, and I'll see you next time. Because understanding your patterns is the first step toward relationships that finally feel safe